Bandeham Shri Guru Shiyatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sya Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyanajana Shilakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganarasisha Sambhoshitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govinda Abhidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhakyan Vitam Sundaram Bande Vishwaguruncha Divyad Bhagavad Premnavi Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandavananam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Banditam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishwara Sridharam Manchakopatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Pyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurata Vishe Namah. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the hidden treasure of the sweet absolute, with translation and commentary by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj. And this is chapter 8, Taraka-brahma Yoga, the Merciful Absolute. And now today we'll begin with verse number 11. Yad aksharam vedavido vedanti vishanti yad yatayo vitaraga yad ichanto brahmacharyam charanti tateparam sangrahena pravakshe. Yad aksharam vedavido vedanti vishanti yad yatayo vitaraga Yad ichanto brahmacharyam charanti tate param sangrahena pravakshe. Along with the method of attaining it, I shall describe to you that objective which the learned knowers of the Vedas call Om, the imperishable, within which the desireless ascetics enter and which the devout seekers aspire to reach by practicing the vow of celibacy. Along with the method of attaining it, I shall describe to you that objective which the learned knowers of the Vedas call Om, the imperishable, within which the desireless ascetics enter and which the devout seekers aspire to reach by practicing the vow of celibacy. And as we've said in the past, referring to the very famous verse that's presented, Vedanti tat tatvavidam tatsvam yad jnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabhyate, that the knowers of the Absolute can approach or know this Absolute as Brahma, what's being described here, as Paramatma, that the yogis meditate on the form of the Lord within the heart, and also as Bhagavan, that Supreme Person, in the conception of Vaikuntha, complete with the six opulences, and who is approached with a sense of awe and reverence, majesty, but who is into the Vaishnavas, who are the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, and with our worship going to Mahaprabhu as the person who can give us everything. So here what is being described is the imperishable, impersonal aspect of the truth, which is known as Brahman or Brahmajyoti, real as the ascetics, Bhagavan, which is known as Vedanti Tattva Vidas Tattvam Yad Jnanamadvayam Brahmiti, the entering into the Brahman effulgence, or like in that level. And then comes, but we are more interested in the worship of the Lord as a person, and that will be ultimately known as Shri Radha and Krishna. And as we said, the devotees, they will approach the Lord and be able to worship the Lord within their heart as Shyam Sundar. So the ascetics, and there is a class of persons who raise their consciousness through the different levels of consciousness, and ultimately go out of the Brahmarandra, and they're able to attain. There's persons known as Urdhva who are able to raise the semen, or their power of being, we could say, or consciousness, through the different levels of chakras until they leave. But here it's mentioned, along with the method of attaining it, I shall describe to you that objective which the learned knowers of the Vedas call Om, the imperishable, within which the desireless ascetics enter, and which the devout seekers aspire to reach by practicing the vow of celibacy. Okay. Now 12 and 13. Sarvadvarani samyamya manoridi nirudya cha murdni adhayatmana pranam astito yoga dharanam Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran ya prayati tyajandeham sayati paramam gatim. Controlling all the gateways of the senses, holding the mind steady within the heart, establishing the life force between the eyebrows, and fully absorbing the thoughts in the spiritual self. One who at the time of leaving the body vibrates the monosyllable Om and departs the world in consciousness of me, reaches the transcendental world. Ananya cheta sadatam yomam smarati nityasha tashyaham sulabha parta nitya yuktasya yogina. Uparta, person who one-pointedly remembers me always in all circumstances, and who in his relationship with me, in servitude, friendship, etc., constantly aspires for my divine association. I am easily reached by such a devotee. So this is our understanding. We are personalist. We are not trying to enter into an impersonal approach, or to gain entrance into some level of divinity by our own ascetic endeavor. All these things, they are not really so much applicable to the devotees, but here, this verse very clearly states what is our objective. A person who one-pointedly remembers me always in all circumstances, and who, in his relationship with me in servitude, friendship, etc., constantly aspires for my divine association. I am easily reached by such a devotee. So, easily reached by such a devotee, we can contrast that to the previous description of how one can enter into the previous two verses, I should say, how that one can enter into the imperishable through one's own endeavors at being an ascetic and chanting Om, etc. Many persons, this is their conception of yoga. But here Krishna very, very nicely says that despite persons endeavoring in so many different ways, because ultimately the Bhagavad Gita gives many different methods by which one can attain spiritual development. But elsewhere it's commented that when Arjuna asks which is better, the path of the personalist or the impersonalist, Krishna comes out very strongly in favor of the personalist and says that impersonalism is fraught with so many difficulties and so many problems aspire when one follows that, because obviously it's very difficult for those who are in bodily consciousness and those who are thinking perhaps incorrectly, but thinking in terms of the self, individuality, personality, and everything. And we understand that can also exist on the spiritual level. All of a sudden, one will negate the personal approach and try to, what Krishna says, it's very hard for those to attain the impersonal perfection for those who are embodied, meaning those who are in a personal conception of life. Whether it's incorrectly applied to the personality in terms of thinking that one is the body. But in any case, for those who are embodied, it is difficult, the impersonal approach, and not recommended by Krishna. And here Krishna says, O Partha, a person who one pointedly remembers me always in all circumstances, and who, in his relationship with me in servitude, friendship, etc., constantly aspires for my divine association, I am easily reached by such a devotee. Whereas in previous verses, what those who one attain to the level of Brahmaloka, those persons, referring to the impersonal conception, those persons do not attain success very easily. Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. The great souls who become my associates in my divine pastimes, having reached me, are never again born into transitory existence, which is the abode of suffering. The great souls who become my associates in my divine pastimes, having reached me, are never again born into transitory existence, which is the abode of suffering. So here Krishna refers to paramam samsiddhim, the highest perfection, my association in my pastimes. Now that is the commentary of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj, and that we see as the highest form of realization, is entering into the Lord's eternal pastimes, his association, his devotional service, everything. But obviously, we will see that and see the path of trying to become, to enter into brahman realization of the impersonalist, to see that does not give that result here, which, all right. The great souls who become my associates in my divine pastimes, having reached me, are never again born into transitory existence, which is the abode of suffering. Don't return to this mundane plane. Abrahma bhuvanal loka punaravortino Arjuna mam upetya tu konteya punarjanma navidyate. O Arjuna, from the plane of Lord Brahma downwards, all planes or their residents are subject to return. But Konteya, O Konteya, there is no rebirth after reaching me. So, or we would say, Brahma bhuvanal loka punarvortina Arjuna mamu petya dukonteya punar janmana vidyate. From the highest planet, or from the highest, that Brahma bhuvanal loka, from the plane of Lord Brahma all the way downwards, those persons are, that is, all levels of material existence are continually undergoing repeated birth and death. And it is only those who actually come to the establishing the personal relationship with the Lord through devotional service, mamu petya du konteya punar janmana vidyate. Those persons don't enter again into the cycle of birth and rebirth. And all the levels of material existence, punar vortina Arjuna. Punar, everyone is accepting birth and death. But reaching the shelter of Krishna, one does not, punar janmana vidyate, one doesn't have to, again, take birth and be part of the, and suffering in the levels of material existence. So why do I say material existence is suffering? Well, someone can say, well, it's very obvious that material existence is suffering. But rather, I would say for the devotees, they don't want to be they don't want to exist independently of the Lord's service. Now, even if they, as Bhakti Vinod Thakur expresses, even if they are born again, he says, but let me take birth in the house of a devotee. So without devotional service, that is the real suffering, not just repeated birth and death, but it's also being without the association of the devotees. When Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Roy, what is the greatest suffering? He says, outside of separation from the devotees, I know of no great suffering. So, in other words, Ramananda Roy says, this is the greatest suffering, to be without the association of the devotees. So on that level, we'll consider that I want to be with those devotees who are actually serving the Lord. And Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyad Brahmano Vidu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Janaha. A day of Lord Brahma lasts for 1,000 Chatur Yugas, and his night is of the same duration. Persons who know this have the true conception of day and night. So, a day of Lord Brahma lasts for 1,000 Chatur Yugas, and 1 Yuga age in the time calculation of the demigods equals the 4 Yugas, or 1 Chatur Yuga in the time calculation of man, or 4,320,000 years. So a day of Lord Brahma lasts for that long, 1,000 Chatur Yugas, 4,320,000 years, and his night is of the same duration. Persons who know this have the true conception of day and night. So when we take things in that level, we will consider that on our time scale, what is day and night is like the blink of an eye. Nothing compared with the eternal service of the Lord has any permanence. Avyaktad vyaktaya sarva prabhavanti ahar agame ratri agame praliyante tatraiv avyakta samyake. With the coming of day, the universal progeny with their bodies, senses, enjoyable objects, and abodes are born of Lord Brahma in his waking state, and at nightfall they are again absorbed into Lord Brahma, who is known as the unmanifest. So many millions of years constitute Lord Brahma's day, and at the end of that day, the universal, here it is, progeny, which means everyone in this universe, with their bodies, senses, enjoyable objects, and abodes are born of Lord Brahma in his waking state, and at nightfall they're again absorbed into Lord Brahma, who is known as the unmanifest. So this is very useful because it gives one some conception of what is actually fleeting time. I mean, time is an aspect of the Lord, and we are measuring time by our own feeble instruments, which is our senses. And, you know, we're looking at our watches, and we're seeing time passing. But we don't really see what is the actual, how time is representation of the Lord. As he says, time I am, the destroyer of all worlds. But everyone has a different perspective. To us, you know, we understand that people can live up to 100 years, but very, very few people even attain that. Then if you look at what is the life of other living entities, now some living entities live longer than mankind. That is, some trees have existences of hundreds and hundreds, not thousands of years. So what we consider a long period of time. We hear that when Mukunda was told that he wouldn't see Mahaprabhu till after many lifetimes had passed, then he began dancing because he was thinking, oh, I have that promise, I have that hope that I will again see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he's thinking, that is enough for me. I am not excluded from his mercy, that I will get his mercy. Even if I have, for one reason or other, I have to wait for it so long, but still, I have that hope of his mercy. And then he's so happy, and understanding that great faith that he had in Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu called him back into his presence. And perhaps he had committed some mistake by which Mahaprabhu showed some dissatisfaction with him, and that point was, of course, got across. But he had undeviating faith in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And really, that is our we can go on, we can endure whatever, any situation with faith in Mahaprabhu, and then that, of course, faith in our Sri Guru, Gurudev, and also faith in, you know, faith in devotion. I'm not looking around. I'm not like trying to shop around or look for something else. I'm happy with this. So anyway, if we will have that faith, then we can have a more correct perception of time. And maybe that's not the major element of this chapter, is just to describe how time is passing and what is the perception of time. But it certainly, I would say, it gives us that sense of the value of faith as being beyond any level of time. And one person said to Srila Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that we are told that we are not to read some of the very advanced works of the Goswamis, although there are foolish people who do without qualification, do read those works, like Ujjwala, Nilamani, etc. And about them we can say, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. That will be observation about them. But someone asked to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, oh, we are not to read those works, so that means we will never read them. And then Srila Sridhar Maharaj answered, he said, are we atheists? We don't believe in the eternality and the progressive, we can say the progressive development of the faithful. We don't think just because I can't read something now that I will never have that opportunity. But in any event, whether I will read this particular book, which is, maybe in millions of lifetimes I will not attain that level of perception and consciousness to read that, but still, we are not atheists. We have a faith that will continue in any circumstance. Okay. 19. Bhuta grama sa evayam bhutva praliyate ratri agame vashas parta prabhavati ahar agame bhuta grama sa evayam bhutva praliyate Ratri agame vashaparta prabhavanti ahar agame. O Partha, the multitude of beings are helplessly subject to the law of karma, and the multitude of beings are helplessly born again and again because they're subject to the law of karma. O Partha, the multitude of beings who are subject to the law of karma are helplessly born again and again. With the coming of Lord Brahma's night, they are absorbed, and with the coming of his day, they are again born. Parastasmat tu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatana yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu na vinashyati. Parastasmat tu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatana yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu na vinashyati. But superior to this unmanifest, Lord Brahma, there is another unmanifest, and that existence is beginningless and transcendental to the perception of the living beings. He is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed. But superior to the unmanifest, there is another unmanifest, and that existence is beginningless and transcendental to the perception of the living beings. He is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed. One thing I would like to see this. Okay. Pardon this interruption. We're on, what is this, 8:20? Here we have, yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So the same translation, we can say, This is from Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is, but also based something on the translation of Baladev Vidyabhushan. Paras tasmat tu bhavunyo vyakto vyaktat sanatana yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. And here was, but superior to this unmanifest Lord Brahma, there is another unmanifest, and that existence is beginningless and transcendental to the perception of the living beings. He is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed. So essentially saying the same thing, but in different wording. But I just wanted to see how that was worded. And as I said, this, you'll see that there is differences between the writings or the description given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and that of Baladev Vidyabhushan. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur presented both, and of course Baladev Vidyabhushan did look towards Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur as a guru, as his inspiration. But when it was time to present the credentials of the Sampradaya, it was Baladev Vidyabhushan who presented the different books to establish the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya as accredited. But here, Guru Maharaj's comment is based on Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Did I say that? I believe so. So, right. Avyatokshara iti yuktas tamahu paramam gatim yam prapyana nivartante taddama paramam mama. He is said to be the unmanifest and the invincible, proclaimed by the Upanishads to be the supreme goal, reaching whom one does not return to this world. Know that destination to me, my supreme abode. He is said to be the unmanifest and the invincible, proclaimed by the Upanishads to be the supreme goal, reaching whom, I keep saying teaching. He is said to be the unmanifest and invincible, proclaimed by the Upanishads to be the supreme goal, reaching whom one does not return to this world. Know that destination to be my supreme abode. Purusha sapara parta bhaktya labhyas tvananyaya yashyanta stani bhutani yena sarvam idam tatam. O Partha, I am the Supreme Person, within whom all beings are situated, and by whom this whole universe is pervaded, and attainable only by exclusive devotion. So this is Purusha sa para partha bhaktya labhyas tvananyaya yashyantastani bhutani yena sarvam idam tatam. O Partha, I am the Supreme Person, within whom all beings are situated, and by whom this whole universe is pervaded, and attainable only by exclusive devotion. So, as I said, I consulted here the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Now, what we are reading is the commentaries which Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj is presenting. And of course, this translation is done by who was Bhakti Ananda Sagar Maharaj. So, within the scope of the reading, we're also dealing with the perception or the translation of who is the interpreter or the translator. Better word is translator. So I'm taking that into consideration also. Purushasa paraparta bhaktya labhyastvananyaya yasyathastani bhutani yena sarvam idam tatam. O Partha, I am the Supreme Person, within whom all beings are situated, and by whom this whole universe is pervaded. O Partha, I, the Supreme Person, within whom all beings are situated, and by whom this whole universe is pervaded, am attainable only by exclusive devotion. Bhaktya labhyastvananyaya, by exclusive devotion. Yatra kale tvanavritim avritim chaiva yogina prayata yantim tim kalam vakshami bharata shaba. O Bharatar Shaba, now I shall describe to you the circumstances in which the yogis attain either liberation or rebirth at the moment of death. Okay, so we can continue on with this. Agnir Jyotiraha Shukla San Masa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Vido Jana. Upon leaving the body, the knowers of Brahman attain Brahman via the path of fire, light, day, the waxing moon, and the sun's northern ascent. So here, there are various factors. Via the path of fire, you can say, which you will hear, when the sun is traveling into the north, where there's, during the light of day, the waxing moon, when the moon is going from new moon or Amavasya to the full moon. So the full moon, what is that? What? Purnima, from going from Amavasya to Purnima. The yogis are passing from this world, they're leaving this world, and I could say on the basis of their own strength of their own practice to some extent, path of when the sun is traveling in the north during the daytime, when the moon is growing or waxing from Amavasya to Purnima and the sun's northern ascent, we mentioned that. And all these factors are to be there for the yogi to leave successfully. But we see in the course of the calendar of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas that our acharyas and great Vaishnavas, they leave at different times. They don't leave at those times. They leave during even the Amavasya, and in fact, persons like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, persons like Gadadhar Pandit, persons like Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj, they left on the Amavasya, not according to this formula. But still it was said about when a Vaishnav leaves on the Amavasya, Srila Govinda Maharaj said that shows the humility of the Vaishnava. So we're not dependent on these circumstances. You can see they're exalted Vaishnavas leaving all different moments of the calendar. And here 25. Dumo Ratris Tata Krishna Shanmasya Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartante. Dumo Ratris Tata Krishna Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartate. Upon leaving the body, the karma yogi reaches the heavenly plane via the path of smoke, night, the waning moon and the sun's southern ascent, but returns to undergo rebirth. So he's not following what is the prescription here according to how the yogi is supposed to leave, but some yogis will attain some way of leaving this material plane, but they again will come back to but return to undergo rebirth. And then Shukla Krishna Gati Yete Jagata Shashvate Mate Ekaya Yati Anavritim Anyaya Vartate Bhuna. Shukla Krishna Gati Yete Jagata Shashvate Mate Ekaya Yati Anavritim Anyaya Vartate Puna. The two paths of the world, the bright and the dark, are accepted as being perpetual. By the bright path, liberation is attained, and by the dark path, one is reborn. So then again, this will refer to so many ways in which a yogi will leave the world, but we are not concerned with that. As I mentioned, we are concerned with having eternal relation with the Lord through devotional service. And whatever level of existence that is, whether in the material world or the spiritual world, that is our overriding concern. So we only pray for that level of service, nothing else. And these forms may be of great interest to those who are practicing the path of yoga as it's described here. Those yogis, how they're able to leave, as I've described, elevating themselves through the different chakras of the body and escaping through the Brahmarandra and like that. But that is not really so much our preoccupation, I can say. Now somebody can say, well, you're missing this particular reading of the Bhagavad Gita, that this will also refer to the different levels of perception of the devotees, etc. And we want to know, about what the Bhagavad Gita is intrinsically saying, what is the essence. That is true. So anyway, this is what I'm reading here, and this is my perception, that really our concern is that of faith and that of having a connection with the Lord through service. So, Naite Shriti Parta Janan Yogi Muyanti Kaschana Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna. O Partha, the devotee, Bhakti Yogi, who knows these bright and dark paths is not deluded. Therefore, O Arjuna, be ever fixed in transcendental exclusive devotion. O Partha, the devotee, Bhakti Yogi, who knows these bright and dark paths is not deluded. Therefore, O Arjuna, be ever fixed in transcendental exclusive devotion. That is our concern, to be ever fixed in transcendental exclusive devotion. My exclusive devotion, my understanding of the exclusive devotion will be to be very faithful to my acharya, my Gurudev, who is giving me my faith and understanding, and I will continue in devotion to his lotus feet. And Vedeshu Yagyeshu Tapasu Chaiva Daneshu Yat Punya Phalam Pradishtam Adyeti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditva Yogi Param Stanamu Paiti Chadyam Vedeshu Yagyeshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param stanam upaiti chadyam. Thus knowing of my glories and the glories of devotion for me, the devoted soul, surpassing the scripturally cited fruits of piety achieved by chanting the Vedas and performing sacrifice, austerity, and charity, attains my supreme holy abode. Thus knowing of my glories and the glories of devotion for me, the devoted soul, surpassing the scripturally cited fruits of piety achieved by chanting the Vedas and performing sacrifice, austerity, and charity, attains my supreme holy abode. Okay. Iti Shri Mahabharate Shata Sahasriyam Samhitayam Vayasikyam Bhishma Parvani Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Taraka-brahma Yogo Namastamo Jaya Iti Shri Mahabharate Shata Sahasriyam Samhitayam Vayasikyam Bhishma Parvani Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Taraka-brahma Yogo Namastamo Jaya. End of chapter 8, the Merciful Absolute, from the conversation of Sri Krishna and Arjuna in Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishad, the yoga scripture of transcendental knowledge in Bhishma Parva of Sri Mahabharata, the holy scripture revealed by Srila Vyasadeva in 100,000 verses. So, now, hey. So, I hope all of you are well. My prayers are for the well-being and the development of all the devotees who are following this divine path given by Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj, and their devout followers. We know that many are here also following the instructions of Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj, and in different places other representatives of Srila Govinda Maharaj, his path. So I hope you're all well. Now, Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama.
Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama.
Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatam Bhakta Raguna. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raguna. H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jai Te Vignana Shabishta Puran. H.I. Gosai Charmui Taradan. Dasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagras Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame More Abhilas Hechai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilavas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamula Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Tara Sada Shishimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Tara Sada Shishimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Sunanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Amachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Premsi Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Bhagavad Ki Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Vishwavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Shri Koladvip Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Soquel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai, Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan, Shyam Kunda Radhakunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai.